Alright, so in this video we're going to talk about the difference between absolute pressure, atmospheric pressure, and something called gauge pressure. And I think the easiest way to show the differences between the three are to do a really quick example. So the example is as follows. What is the atmospheric pressure on a planet if the absolute pressure is 100 kilopascals and the gauge pressure is 10 kilopascals? So we know that the equation that relates the three different pressures is the following. We know that the absolute pressure is going to be equal to the atmospheric pressure plus the gauge pressure, right? So if we know the absolute pressure, so if let's just do this in a different color. If we know that the absolute pressure is going to be equal to, in this case, 100 kilopascals, kPa, and we know that the gauge pressure is equal to 10 kilopascals. We want to figure out what the atmospheric pressure on this planet is, right? So if we just apply the equation and we solve for the atmospheric pressure, we'll see that the atmospheric is going to be equal to the absolute pressure minus, right, because we subtract the gauge pressure from both sides. This cancels out. We're left with gauge pressure on the left here. And so that's going to be equal to the absolute pressure minus the gauge pressure, which is going to be equal to, in this case, it's going to be equal to 100 kilopascals minus gauge pressure, 10 kilopascals, right? Everything has the same unit, so we can just subtract, and we find that the atmospheric pressure in this case is going to be equal to 90 kilopascals. So just to reiterate, the absolute pressure is going to be the atmospheric pressure plus the gauge pressure. The atmospheric pressure is sort of self-explanatory. Like in this case on Earth, it's 1 atmosphere. A gauge pressure is the pressure that's above the atmospheric pressure, right? So if I had a absolute pressure of 5 atmospheres on Earth, we know that the gauge pressure is going to be 4 atmospheres because the atmospheric pressure is 1 atmosphere. 4 plus 1. Obviously, in this case, if you look at the equation that governs these three, 4 plus 1 is 5, right? So that's basically it. It's really simple, and it's just in this case, this particular problem, it's just an application of the equation that relates these three different pressures together. So hopefully this helped, and we will see you all in the next video.